And Sofia, now, is this contact with another car? It's most likely. Oh, that's a scary moment. And Sofia will be fuming to see that back.
He just touched my back and just spun me around.
The German driver will be
that contact on the exit of 4.
Oh! And there's a moment whilst we were watching the start replays. And Smolja going round and damaging. Oh, he'll be out of the race. He's damaged the front wheel there as well as the front wing. And there he is. He has stopped further along the lap. I think that's at turn number 1. He's made it as, oh no, he's made it up the hill to turn 3.
50s in the Middle East and was rewarded with some land that turned out to have some mineral in it. Whether it be oil, I don't know, but it was all well earned. And there we see a replay of the Sebastian Fernandez, Matteo Nannini.
Yeah, this is what it looks like on board for Sebastian Fernandez, trying to go around the outside, but before they got to the braking zone, so that collision is at full speed on the hangar straight, unsurprisingly. Race control want to have a look at the replays of that. Thankfully, both drivers all right. We did not need a safety car on the last lap. Surprised we didn't get a virtual safety car on the last lap. But in the end, both drivers getting, well, one driver getting out of the gravel trap, and happy to say that Matteo Nannini is okay as he gets. And that is why we've got Alessio Deleda off the road for the second time this weekend, and in pretty much the same place that he went off the first time. That will bring qualifying to a conclusion. There are a few personal bests out there, but I don't think that was going to change in the battle for pole. Jake Hughes had set a personal best, but hadn't found any improvement in the middle sector, and Alessio Deleda into the same gravel trap as before, and the same outcome for the session.
Let's have a look at Deleda. Looks like he lost it a bit later, actually, than he did earlier on. Yeah, big old snap of oversteer in the middle. And oversteer, white line, curbs, gravel, walk for Deleda.
Who will start at the back of the field after a tough old day for the Italian. We've got a third. Round goes Fernandez. Sebastian Fernandez on pole for the first round of the season, provisional. And then further along, yeah, totally unsighted, and Fernandez spinning out of the race.
Side by side into Luffield. I suspect we'll see a bit of bumping and boring. Jack Doohan's going to try and cut up the inside, and he's going to spin and just take him with him completely into the pit lane. Jack Doohan in the HWA car behind.
So it's Barnicoat and Viscal with the initial contact, and then Viscal back across the racetrack into the path of the Australian.
And just pure wrong place, wrong time for Jack Doohan. Barnicoat trying to hang on round the outside. Viscal not wanting to let him have it, but I'm not sure that was intentional. It's rear tyre stuff, and that's radiator fluid that you're seeing.
For sure, into fourth position. Oh, and that's a big one. That is a big one for Michael Belov, who has lost it at what I think is going to be Pouhon corner, and that brings out the red flag, understandably. With everyone about to post their first times, we have a red flag, the session paused, and Fernandez getting the representative times in. This is why we have the red flag. On the curb, round he goes, and a tap to the tyre barrier for the Russian debutant this weekend in the Charus.
Yeah, we kind of take Pouhon for granted when we're watching the high standard of driving through there.
Now we look to car number 3, that's Logan Sargent. Breaks the first turn on the inside line, loses it, clips our pole sitter round he goes, and then Caelan Williams losing it. There was contact at the back there, but the car he collected. So Oscar Piastri got a huge hit from Caelan Williams, the two Australians, and Frederick Vesti was the car involved in there as well, and also Ollie Caldwell getting caught up in the blue and red car in the Trident. And everyone did well just to take avoiding action at that point.
Up the field, will retain the gaps. Let's have a look at it again.
So 3 wide we go then, and it's Novalak who hit one contender yesterday. Unbelievably, he's hit the other one today.
Piastri even left him space on the apex of turn 1, just completely minding his own business. going around the first part of the Roger chicane.
So Beloff is the car in the middle just to ID him. That's Novalak into the side of Peroni. Not into Peroni, Piastri, I should say.
He even leaves a car's width for them to play with on the inside. He knows that there's action down there. This is what it looks like from the cockpit of Zendelli. And Novalak just locks up that right front and can't slow the car down into the side of Piastri.
Also forced off the road there, David Schumacher in the 27 car. But that has huge repercussions in the title battle. Further up the road, still they go side by side. Zendelli on the left-hand side, Caldwell on the right. Zendelli hanging on to it, and then there's the spin for Ollie Caldwell. Will he be collected? Yes, he will, unfortunately.
Goodness me, wouldn't want to sit there for too long, and that's the reason. Just unfortunate, got clipped on the apex of Maggots, and then on the apex of Vale, and then that's always going to be the result with 15 cars to go. Here's Ollie Caldwell just getting a tap right here, and they always say you only have to nudge a single-seater smart enough to get his hand off the steering wheel.
Yeah, that was important.
And you know, as a single-seater driver with a field full of cars to come through behind you, that someone is going to be unsighted enough, unfortunately, to hit you. And that's a big job to get that out for tomorrow's race, if they're even able to. Cars have weak points, specific weak points to break in such an incident. They are made to break apart like that. I remember the old Formula Renaults were made with the engine mounts to have the engine disconnect to the chassis under a big impact. And the whole reason for that is all of that dramatic looking dissipation of the car also dissipates the energy of the impact. Looks dramatic, but it's actually helping the driver.